In this video, we'll share the 10 most important tips to help you avoid fatal mistakes when choosing and buying olive oil. The olive oil you use may contain hidden dangers that contribute to chronic diseases, cardiovascular issues, and even cancer. We've ranked these tips in order of importance, so make sure to watch until the end to discover the most crucial one: what oil will truly benefit you, and which could pose a threat to your health. This video is going to be incredibly informative and helpful. If you want to take control of your health like a pro, give it a like, and let's get started. Tip 10. Never buy olive oil without information about its region of origin. When you buy olive oil, it's crucial to pay attention to its origin. Oil without any information about the region could be produced in countries with subpar production and quality control standards. This opens the door for counterfeit products and the addition of low-quality ingredients. A recent study by the National Institutes of Health showed that about 20% of olive oil sold in the US is fake or mixed with other oils that don't contain any olives. This can harm your body, as low-quality oils may contain harmful chemicals such as pesticides or solvents used in extraction. These substances can cause allergic reactions, stomach irritation, and in the long term contribute to the development of cancer. Medical case: Xavier Martin, 54, from Austin, Texas, went to a clinic complaining of persistent stomach pain and nausea after regularly consuming olive oil without information about its region of origin. Lab tests revealed high levels of toxic chemicals in his blood, which were traced back to consuming counterfeit oil. To solve this issue, always check the label and look for information about the oil's origin. High-quality oil always indicates the region where it was produced, along with certificates confirming its authenticity. Tip 9. Never buy olive oil that is cloudy or opaque. Olive oil should be clear and transparent. If you notice that the oil is cloudy or has an opaque color, it may indicate improper storage conditions or poor filtration. These defects not only affect the flavor of the oil, but can also be dangerous to your health. Cloudiness often signals the accumulation of harmful microorganisms, such as bacteria or mold, which can develop due to improper storage in high temperatures or exposure to light. According to a study by the American Gastroenterological Association, consuming oil with microbes can lead to serious food poisoning, with symptoms like vomiting, diarrhea, and stomach pain. In some cases, it can cause more severe illnesses, such as gastritis or intestinal infections. Medical case example: Sarah Green, 48, from Chicago, went to the hospital with severe poisoning symptoms after consuming cloudy olive oil bought at a local market. Doctors diagnosed her with an intestinal infection caused by bacteria present in the oil. To avoid such problems, always check that the oil is clear and comes in proper packaging that protects it from light and high temperatures. If the oil looks cloudy, don't take the risk. Choose a product with a clear expiration date and transparent liquid. Tip 8. Never buy olive oil with added sugar or preservatives. Sugar and preservatives in olive oil are not just marketing additives, as they may seem at first glance. These ingredients can significantly alter the chemical composition of the oil, making it not only less beneficial, but also potentially dangerous to your health. Research conducted by the American Diabetes Association shows that adding sugar to foods leads to a sharp increase in blood glucose levels. This increases the risk of developing type 2 diabetes, a chronic condition that requires lifelong management. According to the National Institutes of Health, sugar in food can raise insulin levels, contributing to insulin resistance and eventually diabetes. Even more concerning is the fact that preservatives used in food production can weaken the immune system, making the body more susceptible to infections and various inflammations. Chronic inflammation is linked to a range of diseases, including heart disease and cancer. Medical case example: Jonathan Thomas, 60, from Los Angeles, sought medical attention for symptoms of elevated blood sugar and chronic fatigue. After thorough examination, doctors discovered that he had been regularly consuming olive oil with added sugar, which likely contributed to these issues. To avoid this problem, always check the label for the ingredients in your oil. High-quality olive oil should not contain additives like sugar or preservatives. Choose oil made exclusively from olives without any artificial substances, and look for organic products that guarantee the absence of harmful additives. Tip 7. Never buy olive oil with high acidity. When you buy olive oil with high acidity, it could be a sign that the oil was made from poor quality raw materials or has been improperly stored. Oil with high acidity usually contains more free fatty acids, which may indicate that the olives were harvested late, poorly processed, or that the oil has been exposed to heat and light for an extended period. According to a study by the American College of Gastroenterology, such oil can cause serious digestive issues such as gastritis and ulcers, especially in people with pre-existing stomach conditions. This oil can also irritate the lining of the stomach and intestines, increasing the risk of inflammation. Another issue with high acidity is its negative impact on the liver and pancreas. Regular consumption of such oil can impair the function of these organs, leading to chronic conditions over time. Medical case example: Mary Jones, 52, from New York, suffered from frequent stomach pains and dyspepsia. During her examination, doctors discovered that she had been using olive oil with high acidity, which was the cause of her stomach issues. To avoid consuming oil with high acidity, always check the label for the acidity level. Choose oils with a low acidity level. This indicates high quality and proper processing. Tip 6. Never buy olive oil with added flavorings or artificial additives. Flavorings and chemical additives in olive oil pose a real threat to your health. Although these additives may seem harmless at first glance, they can cause serious allergic reactions. According to the American Academy of Allergy, Asthma, Immunology, about 3% of the U.S. population suffers from allergies to chemicals that may be present in flavorings. These allergens can irritate mucous membranes, leading to airway inflammation, skin redness, and even anaphylaxis in more severe cases. Even more concerning is that additives can negatively affect the liver, impairing its functions. Chemicals such as artificial flavorings can slow down the metabolism in the liver, which in the long term can lead to fatty liver disease, cirrhosis, and other liver disorders. They can also impair digestion, causing dyspepsia, bloating, and other unpleasant symptoms. Medical case example: Sarah Lee, 42, from Chicago, became the victim of an allergic reaction to olive oil with added artificial flavorings. After several weeks of consuming the oil, she went to the hospital with symptoms of severe swelling and difficulty breathing. Tests revealed that the cause of her reaction was an artificial flavoring present in the oil. The solution to this problem is to choose olive oil without any additives. It is important to carefully read the product's ingredient list to ensure it does not contain flavorings or artificial chemicals. The best choice is oils with minimal processing, guaranteed to be of natural origin. Tip 5. Never buy olive oil that is not labeled as cold-pressed. When the label on olive oil does not specify that it was made using the cold-press method, this should raise a red flag. Oil produced using high temperatures loses most of its beneficial components. High temperatures break down antioxidants, vitamins, and other important substances like oleic acid, which plays a key role in reducing cholesterol levels and supporting the cardiovascular system. Studies conducted by the American Heart Association have shown that oils produced at high temperatures can raise cholesterol levels in the blood. This, in turn, increases the risk of developing atherosclerosis, heart attacks, and other heart-related diseases. Additionally, oils that undergo heat treatment contain more trans fats, which have even more negative effects on health. Medical case example: Robert Baker, 58, from Miami, after a year of regularly consuming oil not labeled as cold-pressed, was diagnosed with high cholesterol and early signs of atherosclerosis. Lab tests revealed that this was linked to the consumption of oil that had not undergone the cold press process. To avoid such problems, always choose oil labeled as cold pressed. This process helps preserve all the beneficial components of the oil and protects your health. Tip 4. Never buy olive oil without the extra virgin certification. When the packaging of olive oil does not say extra virgin, it should raise a red flag. The absence of this certification could mean that the oil has undergone chemical processing, which significantly reduces its beneficial properties. High-quality olive oil labeled as extra virgin is made using the cold press method, which preserves all its beneficial components such as antioxidants, polyphenols, and vitamins. However, if the oil lacks this certification, it has most likely been refined with chemicals and high temperatures. These oils can be enriched with harmful trans fats, which, in turn, raise cholesterol levels in the blood and increase the risk of cardiovascular diseases. According to the American Heart Association, regular consumption of refined oils increases the likelihood of developing atherosclerosis and other heart diseases by 20 to 25%. Additionally, the lack of antioxidants in such oils promotes inflammation in the body, which may be linked to the development of type 2 diabetes and other chronic diseases. Medical case example. Jennifer Carter, 50, from Los Angeles, had been consuming olive oil without the extra virgin certification for several months. Soon she began experiencing chest pain and weakness, and after examination, doctors diagnosed her with early-stage atherosclerosis. Lab tests showed that her high cholesterol levels were associated with using low-quality oil. To prevent such issues, always choose olive oil with the extra virgin label, which guarantees that the product has not been chemically processed and retains all of its beneficial properties. Tip 3. Never buy olive oil in plastic bottles. Plastic packaging for olive oil is another mistake that can be fatal to your health. Plastic, especially low-quality plastic, can release harmful toxic substances such as bisphenol A, BPA, a known carcinogen. These substances can seep into the oil and then into your body, disrupting your hormonal balance. The American Institute of Endocrinology reported that BPA present in plastic packaging can interfere with the endocrine system, potentially causing thyroid and sex hormone imbalances. Continuous exposure to these toxins increases the risk of reproductive organ diseases and infertility. Furthermore, BPA can disrupt the pituitary gland's function, which affects growth, development, and metabolism, creating additional health risks. Medical case example. Michael Johnson, 38, from Phoenix, had been consuming olive oil packaged in a plastic bottle for several months. He started complaining of reduced libido and constant headaches. After an examination, it was found that the high levels of BPA in his body were linked to consuming oil in plastic. The doctor advised him to stop using such products, and his condition improved soon after. To avoid these problems, always choose olive oil packaged in glass bottles, which do not release harmful substances and do not alter the structure of the oil. Tip 2. Never buy olive oil past its expiration date. When the expiration date of olive oil passes, it undergoes oxidation, which leads to the loss of its beneficial properties. Oxidized oil loses its antioxidant and anti-inflammatory components, which are the main sources of its health benefits. According to the National Institutes of Health, the oxidation of oils promotes the formation of free radicals, which can damage the body's cells, increasing the risk of various diseases, including cancer. Studies show that regularly consuming oxidized fats can speed up the aging process of cells and contribute to the development of chronic inflammation. These inflammatory processes are key triggers for many diseases, including cardiovascular diseases and arthritis. Additionally, oxidized oil can irritate the stomach lining, causing dyspepsia and impairing digestion. Medical case example. Kenneth Smith, 60, from Houston, suffered from chronic joint inflammation and high cholesterol. He had been regularly using olive oil past its expiration date, which contained oxidized fats. Doctors linked his inflammatory conditions and cholesterol imbalance to the consumption of oil that had lost its antioxidant properties. To avoid these serious issues, always check the date on the oil's packaging and avoid using olive oil past its expiration date. Olive oil should be fresh to preserve all its beneficial components. And here's the most important point on our list. Tip 1. Never buy low-quality olive oil. For example, blends with canola or sunflower oil. Low-quality olive oil, which is commonly found on the market, may be a blend with cheap oils such as canola or sunflower oil. These oils are often chemically processed to extend their shelf life and improve their appearance, which leads to the loss of all their beneficial properties. A blend of olive oil with canola or sunflower oil can disrupt metabolism, as these oils contain high levels of omega-6 fatty acids, which in excess can contribute to inflammation and an increased risk of cardiovascular diseases. The American Heart Association reports that regularly consuming oils with high concentrations of omega-6 fatty acids can increase the likelihood of developing diabetes, obesity, and atherosclerosis. These oils are particularly dangerous for people with existing cardiovascular conditions or metabolic issues. Medical case example. Lisa Johnson, 45, from New York, began experiencing issues with blood sugar levels and weight gain after she added cheap olive oil mixed with canola oil to her diet. Lab tests revealed high insulin levels and metabolic problems, which were linked to the low-quality oil she was using. To avoid serious consequences, always choose olive oil that does not contain blends with other oils. Look for products labeled 100% olive oil to guarantee its high quality and maximum health benefits. Next, I recommend checking out these videos, and don't forget to leave your likes and comments. I'm looking forward to them.